that when we normally do dental work on you, we have to give you, like, extra anesthesia. And I just, like, I looked at him and I just pointed to my hair. And the hygienist was, like, laughing hysterically because she thought it was the funniest thing ever, but the dentist did not get it. He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, natural redheads are have like a weird immunity to anesthetics and pain medication. So yeah, Novocaine. Sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 shots. I think the most I've ever done is 4, and it was like an upper tooth, which really sucked because it made like the amount of shots that they had to do. It made like my eye numb, so like my eye was droopy. It was really bad. It was not great. But yeah, so I'm my mouth is in pain today. Yeah, not my finest, not my finest hour. Not gonna lie, but it's fine. Well, Luna, aren't you kind of red? Isn't your hair kind of red? So it's not I've done, yeah. So there you go. That's why. So I've done like a little bit of like a yeah. um yeah, I can imagine the dentist would be a little scared there at 7. Oh boy. So it's not the redhead part that technically is what makes you immune, I don't know, resistant to anesthetic medication. Oh, I want to answer that question. If I could try anything new, oh, never mind. I was like, what if I could try anything new right now, what would it be? Not being anxious. Anyway, so it's so this. Yeah. So it's not it's not the red gene. It's not the red gene that does it. It's called the MTRFH gene or something. I always call it the motherfucker gene because that's what it looks like. But it's like it's the MTRFH gene or something like that. That section of your genome is where these like weird genetic anomalies occur. So the MTH gene is where red hair comes from, like it's on that strand that the red hair comes from, but that strand also contains a resistance to anesthesia and pain medication, as well as most of the times it has like a mutation on pain receptors, so that's typically why. But it's like they're all in the same. So it's technically not the red hair gene, but the gene strand that red hair is on that is mutated that makes the red hair is that is also a mutation that coincides with pain resistance to pain, resistance to pain medication, and resistance to anesthesia. And there's a couple other ones too. It might be. I mean, there's a lot like that particular. If your MTHFR whatever MTRFH whatever that one's called, if you have like any kind of mutation on it, you probably have multiple mutations on it. It's just a weird thing that I discovered a couple years ago because I was just like, where do redheads come from? Why? I mean, I remember taking biology classes in college and I was told that it was a genetic anomaly, like it was a mutation. Like redheads came directly from a mutation. Like they can't really find like where the pair off is. It was just like a very like mutant. Redheads were mutants, and that's how redheads came to be. So that was, and I just kind of did like a little bit of a dive. That's why there's that one episode of Mythbusters where they're testing people's pain tolerance, and if being able to swear or something like that um, makes your ability to tolerate pain longer. The problem I have with that episode is like 4 out of the 5 people that they're testing this on are redheads. So like Jamie Heinemann's a redhead, Adam was a redhead, Carrie Byron is a redhead. Obviously Tori Belleci and Grant O'Hara were not. So they had 5 people. 3 of the 5 people were redheads, and I was like, but now we're playing with genetics. Like you've got 3 genetic mutants in there that already have a high tolerance to pain. So I'm not really sure that you can use that particular episode. I was like, no, I don't think you can use that. I don't think that data can work because you've got 3 redheads in the bunch and they naturally have a resistance to pain. Which is weird. Like I think that's why, one, I have a very high pain tolerance. I when I go to the doctor and they're like, "Are you in pain?" and I'm like, "Yep, I'm in pain." And they're like, "On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level?" And I'm like, "Well, if I was a normal person, I would probably say a 7. But because I'm me, it's like a 4. Usually I'm just like, I'm annoyed enough by the pain that I'm here. Like most of the time if I'm in pain, like right now, my mouth hurts. Every time I open my mouth, it's pain. It's like a jolt of pain that shoots through my mouth, but I'm like, it's not bad enough to take medicine for. I have to be like dying in order to like take any medicine for it. But I think because I have just this really like in general high pain tolerance, hi Belle, that it messes. I think that messes with why I can't have Tylenol. So the way that Tylenol works and the way that ibuprofen works, they're 2 different ways. One of them like blocks your pain receptor. One of them raises your pain threshold. And I don't remember which is which, but Tylenol never does anything for me. Like I could take Tylenol will break a fever. If I have a fever, Tylenol will break a fever. But if I'm in pain, Tylenol won't do anything. It literally does nothing. Ibuprofen typically works. The problem is that when I have pain from my digestive system, that sucks because ibuprofen tears up your stomach. So, yeah, unless I'm on the floor, it's not enough pain. Yeah, pretty much. And then like when I go to the doctor, I'm like, it's a 7, and they're like, a 7? You should be screaming in pain. I'm like, it's a 7. You know how I know it's a 7? It's because I'm here. If I was in any less pain where I was not able to function as an adult, then I would stay home. But if I'm in the ER for pain, it means that I am literally not able to function. Like with when I was in labor, I was in active labor, had been in active labor for close to 12 hours. Actually, I was in labor for like 2 weeks with Tiny Mando. 2 weeks. Like it was just off and on, constant. It was obnoxious and I hated it. But the day I had Tiny Mando, I was in active labor for like 12 hours. It woke me up out of sleep and I still went to work. But I was at work and I was trying to like, I work in IT and I'm like trying to solve tickets and I'm like sitting at my desk just going, ooh, ooh, mm-hmm. And I'm like breathing through it. I'm like trying to like get up, like move my body in a way that like separates me from the pain so I can function. And my friend was like, you should probably go to the hospital and get checked out. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I did. And then they wouldn't let me leave. They're like, no, you're in active labor. You can't go now. And I'm like, but I just came on my lunch break. Like, I thought you were going to tell me, like you did a week ago, that it really wasn't a thing and then I can just go home. But, like, I was in enough pain that I was getting annoyed. Like, I was about ready to start losing it on people. Like, that's how much pain I was in. I was annoyed. I was annoyed at the pain. I'm, like, trying to get to the nurse. They're like, what's your pain level? I'm like, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by the pain. I am annoyed enough that I am here, and I am annoyed. And just when you're a chronic pain sufferer, like, I'm annoyed by the pain. That's my level of pain. I'm annoyed. If I'm on the floor and I'm screaming, yeah, I'm probably dying. If I got to the point where I was screaming, then I'm probably dying. I'm dying. You should probably just order my casket now because I'm dying. Oh, good for you, mindless. It was fine. Actually, it was a good thing that I went in when I did because because of like 2 weeks of being in pain. Yeah, stuff was happening in my body that should not have been happening, and I'm glad that I went when I did, because it could have been an emergency if I hadn't. uh give me the good stuff. I don't even want like the good stuff, because I don't like feeling loopy. Like I don't even like that stuff, which is weird, I guess, because most people are like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, no, I don't like the good stuff, because it makes me loopy, and I don't like to be loopy. You need to go prep for session 0 with another group? Shh. Fine. Can we play games tomorrow? I miss you guys. And I have to make sure you don't hate me. If we don't play a game like once a week, then I'm like 99% sure that everybody hates me. That's how that works. Welcome to rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Tramadol was good. I don't know if tramadol is a narcotic though. They gave me the last time I had to go to the ER for like the pain in my stomach. They gave me tramadol. That was nice. I liked that. That made the pain go away. But I didn't feel loopy, so I was okay with that. Is it a nerve block? I don't know what it was. I just know that it worked. I really wish that I could get like an injection every time I get a headache. First puppies are aww. That's okay, mindless. Alright. We did not read last night, and we're gonna read tonight. We're gonna read our 2 chapters. I would read more, but I almost fell asleep right before I got on, because Mando Dad went to bed, and I decided to just lay down for a little bit, and then I realized I was still in my clothes, and then I realized I was falling asleep. So, book, chapter 45, Red Saber Dreams. Maul lay dreaming. It wasn't common for him, and when he did dream, he was rarely aware of it at the time. His equivalent of REM sleep was not the sort that invited the typical neurological sorcery between conscious and unconscious thought. His warrior's brain had no use for it. So the fact that he was dreaming now, heavily sedated and stretched out in medbay with tubes and wires running in through his body as he recovered from his last fight, would have come as a surprise. The simplicity of the dream only underscored its verisimilitude, and for a short time he believed it was actually happening. He was in another bout. Standing in front of the hatchway in his cell, waiting for his opponents to show himself, he looked down and saw something sitting on the floor in front of him. An unremarkable black steel box no bigger than a mouse droid. Yet one glance told him that what it held is what he came here to find. The goal behind him all the time spent slogging through the slime and filth of Coghive 7. He reached down for the box to open it, and a noise came from the other side of the wall. A grunt. The sound of something alive, preparing itself to come forth and do battle to the death. With that same irrefutable dream logic, Maul understood that this particular foe would be the most indomitable yet. Far worse than the thing he'd fought upon first arriving, worse than the Wampa or the Aqualish or the Weequay with his clawbird. This would be the one that defeated him. The hatch slid open and his enemy stepped out. Maul stared at him, and in the end, that part of the dream was not such a surprise after all. Open it, the other Maul said, staring past him, down at the black box. It's yours. What are you waiting for? Maul stared back at him, at himself, an identical reflection standing 5 meters away. Somehow, at least in the dream, the fact that he'd come here to fight himself made perfect sense. As if this moment, and not the arrangement with Iram Radique, had been the inevitable goal he'd been seeking the entire time he'd been here. And all at once, Maul knew what was in the box. No, he said. My master forbids it. Your master, the other Maul snarled. The answer only seemed to enrage the doppelganger. Don't be a fool. It belongs to you. You'll need it if you're going to defeat me. Otherwise, you're as good as dead. Take it. I can't. It will undermine the mission that I am sworn to uphold. Maul's voice constricted. I need to show restraint. I need to. You're lost without it. Dream or no dream, Maul felt anger boiling up in his chest, taking hold of his lungs and the nerves in his spine, his jaw clenched. Perhaps, he told his other self, before you make such statements, you'd better try me first. Really? The doppelganger laughed. It's too late for that. You've already been weighed and measured and found wanting. He nodded back down to the floor. See for yourself. Mastodon? Oh, I see what you're saying. With a sudden sense of foreboding, Maul looked back at the box. It was open. It was empty. Because the item that it contained was already in his hand. His saber staff. Staring at it, Maul felt a crushing wave of shame come thundering over him. The realization that in opening the box and taking the weapon of the Sith, he'd failed his master. He'd done the one thing he'd sworn not to do. And as such, the other Maul lunged for him. On reflex, without a moment's hesitation, Maul flicked the activation stud on the saber. It sprang to life in his grasp, its two red blades shooting out on either side. And in spite of everything, Maul felt a surge of power explode through his being, swallowing him up and enveloping his very soul. The certainty was upon him, the realization of his own true strength. This was what he was made for. He swung the saber staff around in a graceful whirling arc, and in a single sweeping motion he bisected the other Maul cleanly at the waist, the upper and lower halves coming apart bloodlessly, landing in pieces on the floor of the cell. There's some foreshadowing for you. Yes, I have, Belle. I'll get back to it in a second. Looking down at his own face, Maul saw his own dying face smiling back up at him. Good, his voice said, and in an instant realized his error. He was the one on the floor, the fallen one, looking up at himself, the other, the victor. But it wasn't his own face. It wasn't his own face staring down at him anymore. Ooh, this is getting good. But it wasn't his own face staring down at him anymore. It was immune, one he didn't immediately recognize, though an uncanny familiarity encompassed his presence. The nagging sense that he should have known him, and perhaps encountered him elsewhere, in a dream within a dream. An unfamiliar name came over him like a death rattle. And what was that name, dear listeners? Can we guess? It was immune. That's the only hint I'm giving you. No. There you go. Luna got it. Plagueis. Darkness closed in, and when we awoke in the med bay, bathed in sweat, his fingers were gripping the cot, curled around the emptiness of the cylindrical shape that was not there. So, Belle, I have played Battlefront 2. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I would like them to make more. Personally, I like playing the capture the flag mode of the game. That's probably my favorite, mainly because I get to play my copy paste boys. If you know, you know. Chapter 46. Hangar. Slifer, huh? How long you been with the IBC? Festus Slifer glanced at the prison guard standing in front of him, stationed just outside Coghive 7's main hangar bay. He didn't particularly want to get into a lengthy conversation with the man, whose ID badge read Dawson, but at the moment he seemed to have little choice. The guard was bored, starved for conversation. He was balding, and with a wispy gray mustache that stood in marked contrast to overgrown eyebrows whose wiry, rebellious hairs seemed to enjoy a prehensile life all their own. I've been with the banking clan for a substantial period of time, Slifer said, choosing the moment to indulge the guard. Since the bank has held the loan on your operation here, hence my inspection of the entire facility, and then nodding at the hatchway that led to the loading bay. Now, if you don't mind. Oh, thank you for the follow, Sigma. Hang on, Dawson said, swiping his badge and tapping in an access code. The hatch slid open. You'll want to watch your step in there. Landing crew's prepping for a bunch of new meat showing up in the next hour or so you're probably going to want to have to make it fast. Not a problem. Just give a holler when you're ready to come out, Dawson said, and as Slifer stepped past him, he took hold of the Mune's shoulder. Oh, and hey. Slifer stopped, a bit taken aback. Yes? You catch the last fight? A broad grin spread over the guard's face. Jagannath taking on that Weequay and his clawbird. I missed it, sadly. Sadly is right, Dawson said. Best match I've seen in a while. Won 300 credits on the red-skinned Rimmer. He beamed. I tell you, this might not be the safest job in the world, but you get some nice perks along the way. A thought occurred to Slifer. You're a gambling man yourself, are you, Mr. Dawson? Me? The guard snickered. You kidding? Does a sarlacc live in a pit? Perhaps a sporting man, such as yourself, could use a little extra money from time to time. I could make it worth your while. Dawson regarded him suspiciously. What are we talking about here? Nothing that would get you into any trouble, of course. Simply keeping certain information to yourself. And performing an errand for me later if you have time. What kind of errand? I'll let you know when the time is right, Slifer said, waving the question away. How often do you receive supplies here? Weekly? Usually, yeah. They offload them with the new inmates. And the binary load lifter droids that do the work, they're all networked within the prison's main data center? Well, yeah. Dawson pushed one hand up beneath his cap to scratch his head. I mean, we got a couple of refurbished CLL-8s the docking crew needs to access directly, but everything else gets run by remote room upstairs. He squinted at Slifer. Why? Ah, thank you, Estrogen. Oh, are you an Uncle Silver? Yay! Congratulations! And congratulations to your sister, too. Thank you for the follow. Just trying to get a better grasp on how things run day to day, Slifer said and stepped through the hatch. Thank you, officer. You've been very helpful. I'll be in touch. Yeah, uh-huh. The cargo bay yawned out before him, a cavern made of steel. Moving through it, Slifer sidestepped the chief gantry officer and various members of the ground crew, scurrying around to prepare for the incoming arrival. His breath emanating visibly from his mouth in a foggy cloud. The air in here had become significantly colder with a pervasive chill that seemed to rise up from the steel floors. Buttoning his tunic around his neck, Slifer kept moving. Workers on either side glanced up in his direction, but none of them questioned his presence. He supposed that word had already spread among them that an IBC consultant was making an on-site audit, and such interference was nearly always met with a combination of indifference and anxiety. Oh, yay, Silver! How is your sister? Is she okay? I mean, baby's nice, but how's Mama? Everybody always worries about the baby, but I always worry about Mama. Probably because I am a mom. I will say that though, that when I had both of my kids, my mom made a point that when she came to see me in the hospital, she gave me a hug first before fawning over the baby. She of course fawned over the baby because she's grandma, but oh, that's so good, Silver. He stopped in front of the less battered-looking droid, gazing up at its single photoreceptor. Are you equipped with a standard analytic drive? The load lifter made a grunting noise in assent. I'm expecting a special package with today's shipment, Slifer said. It will be addressed to me directly. Its contents are highly confidential and shall not be subject to any of the routine screening and security processes. I will require immediate notification when it arrives. Do you understand? Another digitized grunt from the load lifter. You will keep this information to yourself and not report it to your dock supervisor, Vesta said. This command is authorized by IBC Yellow Card Security Variant 377055. Is that understood? The droid straightened up immediately. Something clicked inside its circuitry, and its photoreceptance brightened noticeably. The automated voice from the thing's articulator drive sounded rusty but coherent. Affirmative. Good, Slifer said. I expect to hear from you soon. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I hope she didn't live stream it. Oh, that would be gross. Anyway, so that was our 2 chapters for tonight. Wow, those were short. How long is the next chapter? Oh. You know what? I'll read a 3rd chapter. Because chapter 47 is 2 pages. So there you get your 3 chapters tonight since I didn't read last night. Chapter 47. Airborne. Maul awoke to a prevailing sense of doom. Rising on the slow dark tide of consciousness, he felt remembrance of what he'd done settling over him like another form of gravity. heavier and more oppressive than the prison itself. For a moment, he just lay there staring at the medbay's ceilings, its austere rectangles outlined by the recessed lighting of sleeping diagnostic equipment. Why was he still alive? The meaning of the dream was clear enough. He'd failed his master, failed his mission. Ultimately, he'd been betrayed, not by some foreign enemy, but by his own survival instincts. But what else could he have done? Dying here would have accomplished nothing. Still, he could not shake the feeling that this had been a test and he had failed. There was nothing left for him now. Thoughts began to organize themselves in his brain. He would need to go back to the transmitter in the morgue and contact his master, to explain his position. If Sidious would even speak to him, in all likelihood the chain reaction of plausible deniability had already been initiated. His master could very well have decided to leave him here to rot, or... All at once, Maul heard a noise above his head. A brisk whirring sound that he guessed was the surgical droid. The thing would be here to change out his IV tubing to check the readings of the instruments wired to his skull and chest. Looking over, he saw something completely different. A claw bird perched at the end of the table, staring at him. Maul scowled at it. I killed you, bird, ripped you to pieces, left you broken on the cell floor next to your master. What are you still doing here? While he was looking at the thing, trying to work out the details of its miraculous resurrection, a second bird swept down and landed next to it, and then a third. Sitting up, Maul looked around. The room was filled with birds. With a faint croak, the first bird hopped from the end of the table to Maul's leg, and then up to his shoulder where it settled itself. He turned his head to gaze at it. The knotted quipus wound around its legs. Of course. Their former master would have needed more than one bird to pick up the different weapons parts and drop off the payment. And now that Maul had killed him, he was their new master. Yanking the monitor wires and tubing away from his body, Maul tossed it all on the floor and swung his legs around. Standing up, he discovered new strength that he hadn't known was there. All around him, clawbirds seemed to have sensed this renewed purpose. They'd already begun to flap their wings, rising into the air and preparing to take flight. Maul nodded. Let's go. Oh yeah, it is the anniversary of the Titanic. I don't know if that's like the best birthday. Following the birds was easier this time. They flew just ahead of him in a black, rustling cloud, leading him through the main concourse where the other inmates drew back in obeisance, stepping away, some of them even lowering their heads as if recognizing some newly coronated ruler. Maul pursued them downward through a labyrinth of passageways. Oh, ow. Ah. Ow. That hurt. When the path became narrow, the flock flattened itself out, and when it opened again, they spread again to fill the available space. They went on like that for what felt like a very long time, deeper down than he'd imagined the prison ever went, although it was different to gauge distances and depths in a world that was constantly changing. Stillness came over the world, a sense that he was venturing where few had gone. At last, Maul stood before a closed door. The hatchway opened. Jagannath, a voice said from inside. Welcome to the inner circle. No, it is not the Bible. We are reading Maul Lockdown. Oh! Ooh, we might be right. It might be a Dread Pirate Robert situation. I don't know. It sounds like this might be a Dread Pirate Robert situation, which is kind of nice. I'd be cool with that. Maul is the new Iram Radiq. I mean... Aw, that's sweet, Silver. Hi, Brandon! Welcome in! Even though it's like we're mostly done. I read our 3 chapters for tonight. And I don't know how much longer I can stay awake. I am so tired. Novocaine always makes me tired. I did not, unfortunately, get a chance to film tonight. I wanted to, but then I got busy. But look, I printed a new... this one's even bigger than before. I'm so glad you got to share the good news. Yay. But yeah, I made the cog even larger. Yes, I saw the first 2 episodes of MAUL. I have not been able to catch up for this week yet. I was hoping that Mando Dad would want to watch it tonight, but then he had certification training tonight, so he was not able to watch it either. So I hopefully Thursday. Cause tomorrow tomorrow I have church until like 8. And so, like, I don't know if I'll be able to watch episodes 3 and 4 tomorrow night when I get home. It depends on Mando Dad, because he usually goes to bed at like 8:30. So I don't know. It'll probably the earliest I can watch it is Thursday, which is fine. If it's not, at least I get to see the first 2 episodes like on time. Mandalorian and Grogu is going to flop. I'm super excited for it. I am very stoked. I am looking forward to it immensely, but I could see how that happens because I don't really feel like they can develop a story. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're gonna be missing like a huge plot in Mando and Grogu. Like I said, I'm still excited for it. Pedro Pascal is in it. Ooh, that man is so hot. So I don't know. I honestly am not sure what we're gonna do with that yet. Um, yeah, I'm not sure it has enough to like win over the casual fans. I'm gonna watch it regardless, and I'm probably gonna love it regardless. But I feel like ever since they announced like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I'm like, I'm not sure it's gonna translate to big screen. It gets good views on Disney Plus. I'm not sure it's gonna work on the silver screen. We will see. I will still go see it. Um, I don't know how I'm gonna go see it opening weekend, but I'm gonna try because I won't even be home. Hang on, let me look and see if there's a movie theater. Where are we saying? Suwanee, Georgia. Movie theater. Suwanee, Georgia. Looks like there's a Regal, maybe? I don't know. I might have to wait till I get home. Because, so it'll come out on Friday. There's no way I'm making a midnight release. As much as I would love to, there's no way I'm making a midnight release. And then Friday we're getting up really early and driving down to Atlanta. I would like. Well, there's no way. There's no way we're gonna be able to do it. But I want to do the 2 things we want to do in Georgia this time around is we want to do the Coca-Cola Museum and the Center for Puppetry Arts. Like that is something that Minnie Mando has adamantly requested for. She wants to go to the Center for Puppetry Arts, and I'm gonna try and make those dreams come true. Maybe Saturday after the Taekwondo tournament, we can hit up the movie theater. Maybe. I don't know. I hope so. Or maybe Friday night. It depends on. So we're gonna probably leave at like 7 a.m. and it takes like 8 or 9 hours to get there. And I might try and hit up the Center for Puppetry Arts Friday evening, and then after the tournament on Saturday, going to the movies, and then Sunday we're gonna do the Coca-Cola Museum. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The last movie I saw in theaters was Super Mario Galaxy. I'm love Super, like our theater was full. I love Super Mario Galaxy. It was so cute. And it made it, Mini Mando loved it because Rosalina was in it. Rosalina is her favorite character from the Mario movies. I personally was just enjoying, like, again, as a person who grew up playing Mario games, I just enjoy all of the like little Easter eggs that they put in from the games. And the sound. Like some of it is just like the sound is really nostalgic for me, like the Yoshi sound, like when he jumps or when he swallows something. Um Good luck don't so yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed the Super Mario movie. Um Yeah, when they put Sky Fox in, that was pretty fun. And now I'm like, so what? The next Mario movie. So the next Mario movie. So the first one they added in Donkey Kong, Nintendo Donkey Kong. I have a feeling that the next one. So then Super Mario Galaxy added in Star Fox. I'm gonna guess that Super Mario Galaxy or Mario 3, whatever the Mario 3 movie is, because you know they're gonna make another one. I'm pretty sure it's either gonna be Metroid or Legend of Zelda. Maybe Sonic. But Sonic has its own movie. So, but I think either the next one, the next Mario movie will either be a Metroid throwback or it'll be a Zelda throwback. Cuz then that would pretty much cover all of the Nintendo owned properties, I think. Animal Crossing would just be a little weird. They put the Pikmin. I mean, they put Pikmin in. They put Pikmin in, which was kind of cute. Um, yeah, maybe. I mean, Star Fox was shocking. Like, I did not that I was very shocked at. I was very happy that they did it, but I was extremely shocked. And of course, as soon as he pops up on screen, do a barrel roll, do a barrel roll, which of course they did because they had to, because that's Star Fox. But yeah, we had a lot of fun at the movie theater. We love going. We don't like going to the movies necessarily, like traditional movie theater, but we have one of those like restaurant movie theaters, right? So we can go to the movies and get, you know, drinks and mozzarella sticks and stuff. Um, the kids are always like, "But we need popcorn to watch movies at the movie theater." I'm like, "You got mozzarella sticks. You don't need popcorn. Eat your mozzarella sticks." You got a whole pizza. I don't really know you, Ruth. Typically when somebody asks me if they want to be friends, it's not always the best, but we'll see. I'll have to go and look at your page and see what kind of content you make. No, it's not an Alamo. It's called Cinema Cafe. Um, yeah, we like doing Cinema Cafe because it's not that far away from the house, and then we get to have dinner while we go to see a movie. Um, like I said, mine is the mozzarella sticks. I love Cinema Cafe mozzarella sticks. Um, Hello, Vibe. Uh, Ooh, that's kind of nice. See, it's funny. So they have chicken tenders at Cinema Cafe, and Mando Dad is very funny because every time we go, he's he's like, I'm gonna get the chicken fingers. I'm like, babe, you don't like the chicken fingers. Every time you order the chicken fingers, you complain that you don't like them. Do not get the chicken fingers. And then inadvertently, he'll order the chicken fingers and he'll eat like one of them and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I don't like these chicken fingers." I'm like, I told you you don't like their chicken fingers. He also doesn't like their chicken sandwich. He does not like their chicken fingers and he does not like their chicken sandwich. And every time he orders it, he complains. And then because he only goes to movies once a year, or maybe twice if there's something that he really wants to see or something the kids want to see, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get the chicken sandwich." I'm like, "Babe, you hate the chicken sandwich. You hate the chicken tenders. Stop ordering them." I think it's just the breading. Like it's like I've noticed that like they're very breading heavy and there's very little chicken. So you're getting like huge chunks of like extra crunchy. You know how sometimes it gets like super like they fried it too long and it's like hard to bite. it's that, and I think that's part of why he doesn't like it. But like I said, every time we go, I'm like, don't order it. You don't like it. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. We've been coming here for like 10 years. Every time you order from here, you get the chicken sandwich or the chicken tenders. You hate it. It's not. It's very I mean, it's Cisco food, okay? I honestly, it's Cisco food. That's all it is. It's a movie theater that cooks Cisco food. Um, like their mozzarella sticks are really good. I think they're the same mozzarella sticks that Ruby Tuesdays serves, and I like Ruby Tuesdays mozzarella sticks, so maybe that's it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's just very funny because every time we go, he's like, "I'm gonna get chicken tenders." I'm like, "Don't get them. You hate them." And then he'll be like, "No, no, it's fine. It's fine. They probably changed the recipe." I'm like, "They did not change the recipe, but go for it. You're paying anyway." And then like he takes 2 bites and he's like, "I don't like them. I told you. I was right. The wife was right. Remember, your wife is right." The only thing I don't like about that theater is they don't have Coke products. They have Pepsi products. And the last thing I want to do is have like I want Coke. I don't want Pepsi. Um Ooh, Olive Garden lasagna. That's a good one. Well, I wonder, Luna, if that's gonna change the like I get that Cisco owns they bought Restaurant Depot, but I wonder if they're gonna keep the stuff that's at Restaurant Depot and not replace it with just like other Cisco foods. I don't know. They might be doing that because I feel like with the way that restaurants are hurting, like people aren't going to restaurants, right? And so because people aren't going to restaurants, Cisco's like, we need to diversify our market share because we're not getting as much business from restaurants. And so now they're like going to Restaurant Depot to like try and maybe like pick up some of the mom and pop shops area of the market share because the chain restaurants aren't doing as hot. But I don't think mom and pops are going to help them very. I don't think this deal is really going to help them in the way that they think. I think just in general, everything what is it? The end shitification of everything. Everything has just gotten just progressively worse and progressively more expensive. And people are just like, they're opting out. They're like, you know what? Screw it. Don't care. I mean, I got Panera tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I miss old Panera. I used to love Panera soups. Now they all taste like sugar. It's overpriced slop. I mean, it really is. Like Cisco is basically the AI. Cisco is AI slop of the food world. And I think that there's a lot happening right now that I think we're gonna start seeing a shift. I'm hoping we're gonna start seeing a shift. But I think over the next year or so, we're gonna see a shift because people are realizing the corporate overlords are realizing that you can't squeeze profit out of people who have no money to give you. And profit growth only happens if somebody has money to give. Like if a McDonald's hamburger is $7 and I only make $7 an hour, like I'm not necessarily going to buy the or the better. What is it now? The ground beef, the average price of ground beef has now outpriced minimum wage, which means in order for me to get a pound of ground beef, if I work minimum wage, I have to work for over an hour, right? So I think we're starting. It's starting. Like we're starting to see that shift. Pepsi realizing that people can't afford $7 Doritos. Um, and so they're not they're losing money. Coca-Cola realizes you can't charge $12 for 12 cans of soda. People just won't buy it. Like it's unaffordable. Like you charge $12 for a case of soda, and on top of that, your workers are only making minimum wage, which means now for them to for your own employees to afford a case of soda, they have to work 2 hours. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put a a case of soda is not worth 2 hours of my time. So I think we're starting to see that. Even Disney has started doing it. Disney priced themselves too high. Disney said we're gonna make everything like super 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 expensive because people will pay it. But then people stopped paying it, and now the prices are coming down. Not a lot, but they are coming down a little. We just gotta keep our eyes on the prize, y'all. We gotta we just gotta keep on with the uh minimalization of society, minimalizing stuff, like not being hyper consumers. And I feel like that will, yeah, you're not working 2 hours to get a case of soda. So I think we're gonna start seeing a shift. I think we're already starting to see the shift, not just sabotage. I don't feel like that's necessarily the way, although I think it is starting to scare CEOs a little bit. Kind of like, but I feel like the fact that they're not making profit. Money talks loud, and they're not getting it, and there's nowhere to squeeze it from. Um, and this is one of the things I point out, like a tax break for companies. A tax break is all nice, well, and good. They can support the tax breaks and pay their senators to give them more tax breaks. But tax breaks are only effective if you're making a profit. If you're not making a profit, you're not there's no money to get the tax break on, right? The tax break is based on your profit. If you don't have a profit, there's no the tax break is useless. So I think that's what we're starting to see. At least that's my personal opinion. That's based on pattern recognition and being a former political science student. Not to dox yourself, but I go to the Cinemark. Ooh, I love Cinemark. Yeah, I think we're seeing a downturn in hyper consumerism. I mean, I could tell you just from Easter, 2-3 years ago, maybe longer than that. If you tried a week before Easter, or even 2 weeks before Easter, the Easter section at Target and Walmart were completely cleaned out. Right? They were everything, and they had toys and candy and all this stuff, and it was gone. But I went to Walmart to get, a few things for the kids' Easter baskets, like Peeps and a chocolate bunny. The day before Easter, so Saturday before Easter, there was stuff. The shelves were still full. So I think we're starting to see a move away from hyper consumerism. Part of that is just because nobody got any money. You don't have money, you can't consume. So anyway, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. Oh, that's nice, Silver. So I will see you guys tomorrow, I think. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just bit my cheek. Ow. And yeah, we'll read 2 to 3 more chapters. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night. Bye. Ooh, yeah. I like James Gunn. I'm not a huge DC comic person, but I love James Gunn, so I do look forward to what he's gonna put out. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow, Belle. I'm going to